What's up, fam? How you guys doing? This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 11, episode 6. So we start this episode off. We see Cynthia and that fine ass Leon. Let me tell you something. Some shit just don't get old. Leon being fine don't never get old. I don't give a damn. But they're talking about he's in town, spend some time with Noelle. Noelle's on her way to Howard University for her freshman year. She took a gap year, which a lot of kids are taking these days, and that's cool. Make sure, take the gap year now rather than that gap year your freshman year where your parents are paying for it and wasting their money. I went to school with a whole lot of kids that took a gap year when their parents was paying for it. Parents ain't know they was taking a gap year to the end of the year when them grades came. You understand what I'm saying? So take your gap year, honey, where it's free. And I love the relationship that they have there. She said they're more like brother and sister now. And they bicker like brother and sister. And they seem like they have a really good relationship. She was telling Leon about her new man. And he seemed to be happy for her. Wanted to hear all about it. So I love it. I love it. But then they started talking about Noelle going to school. And Noelle doesn't want to live on campus. And Noelle wants to take her car. Now see, here's the problem with the gap year that I see. Part of it is Noelle, has come from a little money. You know what I mean? Cynthia, she's lived on her own or whatever the situation is, and have her own vehicle and stuff like that for a whole year. And so, remember, she had the boyfriend in Charlotte, and she was driving back and forth to Charlotte to see the boyfriend and stuff like that. So she doesn't want to live on campus. She wants her own apartment, and she wants to take her car. Well, I agree with Leon. Leon said no. He was like, no. And Cynthia was like, but she's going to want to do it. He said, who are the parents? I said, no. She needs the experience because Cynthia was like, I never went to college, so I'm going to defer this to you. You don't have to go to college to understand that there's certain things your child should get in the college experience. My mother never went to college. I mean, she took college classes as an adult because of her job. But my mother never went to traditionally straight out of high school, went to college. Yet and still, there were certain things that she said to me about what she expected me to do or not do. It didn't have anything to do with her having that experience. She said, you're going to live on campus. You're going to go away. My mother did not, for as wonderful of a school as Howard University is, it was never an option because my mother wanted me to go away. She didn't want me to stay here where I had grown up and was comfortable. And it was probably a good thing. It was a very good thing. I know for me it was. But yes, she should live on campus. Yes, she should have the experience of being in the dorm. There's so much stuff that happens in the dorm socially that doesn't even have anything to do with the academics, that you just get to know people, you meet people. That's where you build these friendships. That's where you build these relationships. Honey, we play spades all night. We talk. We yik-yak and chack. And it's I think about the fun I had just hanging out in the dorm, outside of class. It's just, it's ups and it's downs. Don't get me wrong. I had some crazy-ass roommates. But it's definitely an experience that I think everyone should have if you're going to college. And I'm glad that Leon agrees, and I'm glad that because later on in the episode, we see what she does, put in her paperwork to move into the dorm. Now, they said that the dorm is $8,000 a semester. And she said, well, the apartment I was looking at was about the same amount of money. What apartment in DC you was looking at? That you gonna pay, you figure $8,000, that's $16,000 for a year, for 24 months. That's less than $1,000. Where the hell you living in DC in a decent neighborhood that you used to? Because you used to live in a certain way, baby. That you paying that kind of money? I don't think so. Show it to me. I need to see it. And she said, well, it's only 10 minutes from campus. And Leon was like, 10 minutes walking or 10 minutes driving? Now, 10 minutes driving, you ain't even in D.C. no more if you go straight up Georgia Avenue. You in Silver Spring. Was she looking at Silver Spring? Now, there's some nice places. I'm going way off tangent. Anyway, he nixed it. Not having it. Told her she don't need her car either. Now, I think Leon might lose the battle of the car. Although, she doesn't need her car here. She really doesn't. If you're staying on campus, you're on campus. You got the Metro, you have Uber, you got other ways of getting around where you don't need your car. And it ain't nowhere to park. Let me tell you. Honey, I done took classes up at Howard and done things at Howard. Ain't nowhere to park. So leave your car at home and save yourself that headache. Moving on. Then we see Candy and Todd having lunch with Shamari and Ronnie DeVoe. And they have a good conversation. And Shamari says, you know, do you think I shared too much? Do you think I told the girls too much of my business when I talked about the open relationship? And Candy told her point blank, like, look, you know, if you like it, I love it. Whatever works for y'all's relationship. And I don't think you said too much. She said, you know, I always, the finger always gets pointed at me wherever anything sexual comes up. But it's only because I'm the only one being honest enough with what's going on. And I've told people, yes, me and my husband have had threesomes. Yes, I've had experiences with women. She said, it's a whole lot of people in that room that's done the same thing. They're just not being open about it. And so she just told her, look, girl, you good. If, you know, you fine. You good with how you rolling. And I don't think no different of you. You know, I think you're cool. So then they talked about the Portia situation. And, you know, and she was just saying how, you know, she wasn't trying to really start no shit. And it just kind of turned into more than it was. You know, at the end of the day, Candy, you was being messy. But I understood you not going to Portia because Portia wouldn't have received it from you. She just wouldn't. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. You could have had videotape and she just wouldn't have received it from you. However, you going to the other girls and other girls, giving them an opportunity, whoever it was Nene, but whoever it was, giving them the opportunity to go back to Portia and sort of made it look messier than it was. Then we see who we see next? Was it Nene? Anyway, y'all. Yeah, Nene and her girlfriend. I'm sorry, Nene and Tanya. Remember Tanya? Her girlfriend that she met at the, that shops at, Swagalicious, the Swag Boutique. And they're really good friends. Hold on, let me turn before my phone go off in the middle of me talking. And they're very good friends, Lord. They're very good friends. And we got to see her house. She's got a beautiful home, honey. But that's what we expected. You know, she's fabulous. Got a nice little hideaway closet, which Nene said was smaller than she expected. It did look kind of small inside, but I like that whole concept of a hideaway. You know, you pull the mirror back and there's a whole room behind the mirror. I like that. I like that idea. Beautiful. It was beautiful. But her home looks beautiful. And we found out, looks like they edited some of that stuff out from the Bailey Q. But we found out she's been with her fiance for 3 years. Well, they've been together for 7 years. They've been engaged for 3, and you know, some of the girls wanted to know, well, why y'all ain't got married yet? What's that about? And you know, Nene was like, look, get married when you're ready to get married. Like, don't get married because other people are saying you should. Get married when you're ready for it to happen. And I agree. You know, people stay engaged. She said they were engaged because they've been busy. You know, they building up their companies and they started a new company together and they sort of got caught up in the whole company, that whole piece of it. And you know, that's just what happened. Like, it just ended up being that way. Now, I can see that. You know, when people out there hustling and grinding, they ain't got time to plan no wedding. And she don't seem to be in no rush. So, you know, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But we got a chance to see a little bit more about her situation. She said they have an apartment out in, I said, I was going to say February. Why I was going to say February? But they have an apartment out in San Francisco because they are in tech. And so, you know, Silicon Valley is out there. And so she said, you know, they have a place out there because they travel back and forth so much. So I could definitely see that this is how or why, you know, you busy and you ain't had time to plan this wedding. We also found out that Nene is going to do a couples dinner. And it's called Boobs and Bourbon, honey. Boobs and Bourbon. Okay, cool. Portia and Candy meet up. And basically, Candy wanted to meet. I love Portia's hair. She's got this beautiful, I don't even know how to describe the color, purplish, but it's beautiful. It looks really nice, too. And that looks really nice on her with the way her makeup was done and everything. But they meet up basically to just talk about, clear the air about the whole dentist thing. And Candy was like, look, I really don't want no problems with you. I really, you know, want to move forward in a better place with you. But, you know, the whole situation just sort of got messy, and I apologize for that. She said, but I felt like you should know. And if it was coming from anybody other than me, I think you would have received it differently. So, you know, I didn't. And for Portia's credit, Portia was like, you should have just come to me. You know, like, you went to the group, you told everybody before you told me, and it didn't come to me through you. So it made it look messier because it didn't come from anybody. And I could understand that, you know. But she said, look, let's just not be messy. Just if you got something to say, you got a problem, you got an issue, just tell me. Just let me know what it is. And so that's what they agreed to do. They sort of squashed it or whatever. It was cool. Then, we're getting ready for the couple's dinner. Mike couldn't make it, so Cynthia has a renegade man by the name of Marcus. I guess he's one of her business partners, because when they were at the wine tasting, she said, "Oh, this is good research for the wine bar." And he said, "Yes." So I'm like, maybe that's her business partner, but you need to do a lot of research, Cynthia. Yes. Then we see Tanya show up with her man, Paul. We meet Paul, her fiance she's been engaged to, and they were looking cute and everything. The boobs were out. Everybody had the boobs looking. I feel like, for the exception of Marlo, I feel like the boobs were tastefully on display. Marlo was damn near popping up out her dress. Marlo was there. She had a date. We never really got to meet him or know who he was, and when they were going around the table, when the couples were talking about how they met, Marlo decided to pass on that question. So I don't know what the situation was. Of course, Candy and Todd, and Candy looked nice. And then we have Eva with Mike, and Eva had a nice little tight outfit, honey. The snapback is real, looking good after she done had that baby. Shamari and Ronnie. And then we saw a new girl, I shouldn't say girl, but young lady, whatever. Yvonne, somebody named by Yvonne, and she was there with her boyfriend, and she's also a friend of Nini's, but somebody knew, we hadn't met her before. And so everybody's there, and it looks like they had a great dinner. Everybody was nice. Portia and Dennis showed up. Dennis came over. He hugged Candy and dapped up Todd. See, that's what you do, Dennis. Dennis, you kill him with kindness. I like that, Dennis. Kill him with kindness, Dennis. Ain't no need walking in here with no attitude. Ain't no need walking in here like you got a problem, because you know what? You ain't did shit wrong. All you done was fall in love with a bunch of other women, maybe at the same time, and decide to give everybody a tattoo. That's your business. That's what you do. Everybody got a pass, okay? But, kill him with kindness. It was cool, but the dinner was nice. Greg spoke. It was really Greg hosting it, so he thanked everybody for being there, And then, like I said, they decided to go around the table and talk about how they met. If you've been watching the show, you pretty much know most of the couple story. You know how Candy met her husband, met Todd. You know how Greg and Nene met, or at least the story they tell us. Portia and Dennis, I think we had already learned the first, Portia was telling us at the beginning of the season how they met. So there were really no big surprises. Eva, we see Eva was flirty with her man, told him she could cook, honey. Shamari, once again, is giving us way too much information, letting the world know that she met her man at the club, and they had sex that night, and then the sex the next night, and then they've been together ever since. Now, I'm glad y'all stayed together, honey. But once again, you might not need to tell everybody everything. You can say, I met my man at the club, and we hit it off. ... But okay, she's telling all her business. Now, there was a whole lot of booze, but there wasn't no whole lot of bourbon. Everybody was drinking everything. See, if you're going to have a theme, you got to stick to the theme. If the theme is boobs and bourbon, even if ain't nobody going to drink the bourbon, I need you to have some bourbon out there. Like at the beginning, she had a wine tasting. Why didn't she have a bourbon tasting? You understand what I'm saying? Like, have different types of bourbon for people to taste and understand the difference and what's considered this and the aging and all of that. See, that's what you do. That's how you do your themes. And as someone who, I drink whiskey. But still, I'm just like, it came up at some point. Somebody was like, where the hell is the bourbon? I think Portia finally said, where's the bourbon? But anyway, so once they did that, now this is what, it seemed weird that Nene would shout out CUA, the college, what do they call, you know what I'm saying, where all the colleges are down there in Atlanta, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark Atlanta, Spelman. It seemed interesting that in Georgia, it seemed interesting that she would shout it out. But we had a couple of Morehouse men. I think somebody there had gone to Morris Brown. And then Eva and Ivania, rewind. So when Eva and Ivania met, Eva said, it's nice to meet you, and shook her hand and everything. Ivania instantly seemed like she had an attitude, turned her lip up, ordered another drink, was cussing at the waitress, telling her boyfriend, tell that bitch, bring me another drink. I mean, she seemed like she got an instant attitude. Well, now we find out why. Well, here's what it was. Come to find out, Eva and Ivania were at Clark Atlanta at the same time. And they have a mutual friend. So mutual to the point where Tiffany, her name is Tiffany. Tiffany is in Eva's wedding. But Ivania said that Tiffany was her BFF. So somebody was like, well, how do y'all not know each other if y'all have that close of a friend in common? And Ivania was like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And Eva was like, well, I mean, do we have a problem? She said, yeah, we got a problem because I'm trying to figure out how you going to sit here and act like you don't know me. You going to shake my hand talking about some nice to meet you. And Eva was like, because I don't know you. Like, I don't remember meeting you. And she wasn't saying it with an attitude. She wasn't even saying it, like, snobbish. She was just like, I'm sorry, I don't remember meeting you. And she was like, how you don't remember me? I mean, I was that bitch. I'm Ivania. And her boyfriend was like this, or husband, whoever he was like this. Like, goddamn. And the rest of the table was looking around like, what? Marlo was like, they're scaring me. She's so funny. He's talking about something, they're scaring me. Bitch, ain't nobody scaring you. But it was really weird. Like, she totally went off. And Nene was like, you know what? I don't want no drama. I don't want no mess. I tell you what. So she stood up to make an announcement to end that whole little argument. And basically, the announcement was that they're going to do a couple's trip. They didn't say the location. They just said they're going to do the couple's trip. But, yeah, I don't know if Miss Ivania is coming back around again. But Ivania seems to have a real big problem with the fact that Eva don't remember her. And Eva was like, that was 16 years ago. Like, I'm sorry if I don't remember everybody I met. But a name like Ivania would stick with me. So I don't know if Eva really... And Eva wasn't even looking like she was being shady. Like, she really was confused. And she didn't say nothing shady in her confessional. Like, yeah, I know that bitch. I just don't like her. Like, she didn't do nothing like that. So I'm just trying to figure out where all this is coming from. But we'll see if we get to see her again. I don't know. She was drunk. I don't know if Nene gonna bring her back around. I don't know, honey. So last but not least, we see Portia has her chef cooking dinner. I thought it was dinner at first because they had steak, but then it looked like it was breakfast. Anyway, it's Dennis's birthday, honey, and she's all excited and, you know, ready to celebrate with him. And he done bought her a gift. Now, let me tell y'all something. You can say a lot of things about Dennis, but I take me a man that buy me a gift on his birthday. Shit. Bring it on. I don't care if it's another Rolex. Give it to me. Give it to me. And, she had him open up his gifts. And it was, he wanted to know what she was drinking. She said, oh, I'm drinking a different kind of champagne. I said, different kind of champagne, are we? So she gives him his gift. So the first gift she has him open is a pair of baby booties. Looked like they was probably some name brand sneakers. They was cute, though. And Portia just can't keep the smile off her face, honey. She can't keep the smile off her face. So then the next gift he opens up is a onesie. And he's like, and he's looking at her, he's so confused. Like with the shoes, he was confused. And then he looked around and he was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what in the world? And she finally says, I'm pregnant. Now, let me tell y'all something. Again, I like this Dennis guy. We could say a whole lot of things about Dennis, but his reaction was pure. He was happy. He was crying. He was embracing. Like, it was all love. And I love it. Now, I don't know if he already knew before he got, before that scene and they just filmed the scene. It doesn't matter. The reaction was beautiful. It was a beautiful reaction. And I can appreciate it. And I love it. I love it. And I'm happy for them because he seems happy. And we know she's happy. Portia's a lot of things. And Portia get on my damn nerves sometimes. But I'm happy for her. So anyway, they look like they having a good time and life is good. And that's where the episode ended. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.